if you see this chart, right, this is back in 1870s, okay, 1870s, right? And you can see that at that time, 1870s, the market was still relatively low, right? Corresponding to what is happening right now. So you can see, right, the growth of $1 and the US stock market real peak values. So imagine you started investing at $1 here, and over time there are always crises. Is it the silver agitation or the breakout of certain war, or there's World War One, or there's like what inflationary bear market, Black Monday, lost decade. Regardless what happened, eventually your $1 continue to appreciate to right now close to $20,000. Right? This is in 2020, right? So I think right now has way above our COVID crash level. The market just has a very clear trend over time, which is going up. Okay, so great question. The first answer to why do I think Berkshire is such a great company to buy is, firstly, it's established by Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett, the best investors on earth, who has huge amount of integrity for their investors. So if you can see from Warren Buffett, right, like he has already all the money in the world. He doesn't even need any single cent, right? He doesn't even need to do all this, but he just so passionate about investing. He really loves it. And that's why even at the age of 94, he still goes to work every single day, not for the sake of making money, but just enjoying the game. So if you are able to have that kind of management, managing this company for you, right? You don't have to do anything. You are just a shareholder. These great CEOs, great founders, they are doing all the work for you. You know that you are well taken care of because they basically just live with passion, and they love, and they are good at what they are doing every single day, right? So, and on top of that, Berkshire, I think it's always a very safe haven for investors, because if you look at Warren Buffett, he doesn't just own publicly listed company, like he doesn't just own shares of it like Apple, Bank of America, and all this. He also has lots of privatized company that you don't get to see in the stock market, right? Berkshire Hathaway literally owns like Geico, insurance companies, railroad company, candy company, manufacturing firms that generates them a lot of cash flow. So this kind of cash flow comes like consistently, regardless of what happened to the stock market, and regardless what happened to the economy industry for so many years. So that's how Buffett, they themselves are very good at using whatever cash flow that they collect to regenerate even better, right? To use the money even better by investing it, right? So that's why I think it's a very powerful twin engine where they collect a lot of cash from the private company and they reinvest it into the equity market to grow it further. And that's how Berkshire Hathaway, for the past 50 years, it has been compounded annual return of 20% year on year, which is more than double of S&P 500. So it's really amazing when you are able to have a legendary investor to grow your wealth at 20% compounded year on year return, right? That's how you become millionaires and even billionaires, right? So many Berkshire Hathaway shareholders are billionaires, right? Because they just hold on to this stock. It's super amazing. And secondly, regarding whether do I still think that like would I ever even sell the stocks? For me, right now, I would not, even though maybe some people will think that, oh, Buffett is getting so old. Well, it's true that he's getting old. But we have heard this saying for so many years, like 20 years ago, people were already saying, oh, Buffett, you're already like, what, 70 years old or 80 years old, right? I think it's not good time to buy Berkshire. But if you just buy it 20 years ago, you are so financially well off today, right? So don't, because of age of a certain investor, then you go and try to time whether it's a good time to buy Berkshire or not. And I personally think that for Buffett and Munger, they are someone who has foresight, that they know that they are going to die eventually. So Munger said that that, like, tell me where I'm going to die, I'm not going to go there, right? So he himself also doesn't want his baby, right, Berkshire Hathaway, to go into waste. So I'm very, very sure that before he passed away, legacy plan has already been planned out for him and Buffett. And even when they're gone, I think the management who is going to be left over, they already have the culture, they have the integrity, and they also have the insights to continue to perform for Berkshire Hathaway shareholders. Now, maybe they might not be performing as well as what Munger and Buffett used to do, because that's what Munger said as well, right? They are not going to surpass Warren Buffett, but they are going to do a decent job. And if you give time, a decent job can still make you lots of money.
I totally agree that Warren Buffett, they are also long-term thinkers, and they won't be delusional thinking that they will live with immortality life. Of
Yeah.
course, they have already planned it out. They have mentored their team well. So yeah, and it's been happening for decades, but we just see the long life of Warren Buffett. But we can really see that there are some people who are very knowledgeable and who can help us with funds. And maybe my question for you, although I have been asking a lot of questions, because yes, there are opportunities in the market, but there are people who have responsibilities, like they have work, they have
Mm.
businesses, and they are really tied much of their attention and time. Is there still a way where, like, how long should they view the market, study the market, so that it can it can be profitable, and also if ever they join in the market, can they still sleep soundly at night?
Yeah,
Do they still have peace if they will dabble on it?
absolutely love the question, because I think a lot of times people always have this question like, oh, if I don't have time, how can I start investing? Or if I need to invest, how much time do I need to spend? And do I need to monitor the market every single day? So maybe I just show you this chart. Let me just find it from Google first. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay, so this is, okay, let me just share screen so that you guys are able to see from here. So for myself, right, because just like what you are thinking right now, right, I also don't want to spend so much time monitoring the market, because I don't want investing to be another job, right? You already kind of, I think a lot of you guys are probably already having a full-time job. When you go home, you just want to relax. You don't want to be like, oh, sitting in front of a computer for another few hours just to make money from the stock and options market, right? So if you share the same sentiment as me, then what I'm going to share with you next will really help you, right? Because I personally don't like to spend hours in front of the computer reading charts and all this. It's just not suitable for me. I'm not saying that this approach is not good. If you're good at it, if you are very happy trading every day, then go on by all means, right? But personally, I don't. I prefer long-term investing. And that's why, like I said, I shift to ETF investing over time. So one of the best ETF that you can ever get started, even as a complete beginner, is the S&P 500, right? And in fact, this is what Buffett has been telling investors all over the world to do, right? If you don't know what to do, and especially if you are just normal retail investors, just invest in the low cost index fund, which is in this case S&P 500. And if you do this, right, you don't need to time the market. Why do I say that? If you see this chart, right, this is back in 1870s, okay, 1870s, right? And you can see that at that time, 1870s, the market was still relatively low, right? Corresponding to what is happening right now. So you can see, right, the growth of $1 and the US stock market real peak values. So imagine you started investing at $1 here, and over time there are always crises. Is it the silver agitation, or the breakout of certain war, or there's World War One, or there's like what, inflationary bear market, Black Monday, lost decade. Regardless what happened, eventually your $1 continue to appreciate to right now close to $20,000. Right? This is in 2020, right? So I think right now it's has way above our COVID crash level, right? So if you invest until today, your $1 will become like 20 over $1,000. without you timing the market at all. And that's what I say the beauty of buying S&P 500, right? Because regardless how many bubbles you've been through, financial crises have been through, be it it's our '08 financial crisis, our dot-com bubble, or our 2000 COVID crash, the market just has a very clear trend over time, which is going up, right? And why is it that the stock market is able to keep on increasing? What I'm talking about is the US stock market. It's because it basically represents the standard of living of how our human beings as well, right? And you can see for the US company, they are not just domestic based, right? For example, a lot of companies in Singapore, they only have the Singapore market share, right? When they're going overseas, they cannot survive. But so many great companies in the US, they are globalized. You can find them anywhere in the world, like your McDonald's, your Starbucks, your Microsoft, your Apple. They're everywhere. They're making money every single day throughout different parts of the world. So as long as this company continue to make money, and as long as we human beings continue to evolve and improve, and our standard of living improve, then we have more money to spend. We will spend more money. And because of that, these companies are able to collect more money because we spend more. And at the same time, there's inflation, things are getting more expensive. They are able to charge more as well, right? And because of that, that's how they make more money, and the stock market would eventually reflect the performance of the companies, right? So that's why I would say that if you are somebody company new, just buy the S&P 500. You will be very well off given time.
Right.